In this video, we're going to look at some options for how you can use Camtasia to edit your video to add in some extra content. There are a variety of different ways that you can edit a video using Camtasia, but some of the things that we'll be looking at today are ways that you can use the program to include some additional video clips into a video you're working on, how you can incorporate some slides if you need to, how you might incorporate some images and annotations, and some options for using narration. If I'm working on a video in Camtasia and want to add some extra video to what I've already recorded, I can do that in a couple of different ways. The first thing that I can do is I can record video the same way I might have already done, using the tools that are built into Camtasia. So if I wanted to click on record here, that would let me record my screen. It would then produce a video clip that would show up here in my media bin. If I have a video clip that's all ready to go, I can also move that into my media bin. So if I say had a video clip that I was storing on my desktop, I've got one here, I can put that clip into my media bin as well, and that will add it to the materials that I have to work with. So those are two different ways I can accomplish the same thing. Now, if I do have videos that I want to insert, that can be as simple as dragging and dropping the video onto the place in the timeline that I want them. So if that happens to be at the end of the video that I've already created, this is very simple. All I have to do is click on that video, drag it down to my timeline here, and put it in the place that I want it. And so that video's been added on to what I already have. If instead I wanted to say put that chunk of video in the middle of the video that I've already created, say I forgot to mention something, or I want a little insert that I can put in, maybe with my face instead of some PowerPoint, I can do that too if I want to. So if I want to go that route, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the place that I want to put my video. So in this case, let's say that I know that my place is about here. So what I can do is I can split the tracks that already exist here and then move them apart to make room for my video. So here, all I have to do is tell Camtasia what I want to split. So if you've made a video in Camtasia, you are likely to see two different tracks here. You're going to see an audio track and you're going to see a video track. If you've done video in a different way, you might just see one track. In some cases, you might actually see more than two. In either case, all you have to do is tell Camtasia what you want to split. And in this case, I want to split both things. And then if you come up here, you've got an option that's going to let you split a track. And if I click on that, it's going to separate each of these tracks, 1 and 2, into two separate components. So if I did want to put my video in a different place, I'm going to take it out right now. But what I can do is I can click the tracks that I want to move, and you can see that at this point, it's only grabbing the second portion where I split those initial tracks, and I can move these. So I can move these as far as I want to. In this case, I'm going to give a fair amount of space. And then I can take the video that I want to put in. I can put it down here in whatever track makes sense for me. Things are jumping around a little bit right now. So I can put my track in right there. And then if I go to the end of that video that I've just put in, I just have to find the pieces, because I move them around a little bit, that I cut. And I can put those here and just put them right at the end of that video. So what I have now, if I make things a little shorter and a little easier to see, is I have my initial video here and here, with a split in the middle where I've put another chunk of video. If I am working with Camtasia, I also have the option to effectively include another slide into my presentation if I wanted to. So say there was something I wanted to add or something that I realized after the fact that I'd forgotten, I could go ahead and put that into my Camtasia as well. So I could do that by re-recording the slide that I had forgotten and then just putting it in as a video clip. Or I can do it by making my slide into an image, putting it into my Camtasia, and then adding narration to it. So either approach works perfectly well. In this case, we're going to have a look at how you can do this using slides. So if I go to my PowerPoint, I have this one slide here at the end that I've forgotten to include in my presentation. And what I can do with this is I can go to save my PowerPoint, just like I normally would. And if I go to Save As, I can go through all the usual process of saying where I want to save something. In this case, we'll say that I'm saving it to my desktop. It's called Class Introduction. But what I can do is I can change the presentation from a PowerPoint presentation to a JPEG file. And what that will do is it will save it as an image. So if I choose JPEG as the file type, I can click on Save, and it's going to ask me if I want to save all of my slides in the presentation or just this one. In this case, I want just this one, so I'm going to tell it just this one. And then I can come back to my PowerPoint, or I can come back, sorry, to my video. And if I open my desktop, I have an image here called Class Introduction. And I can pull this into my media bin. So that's effectively an image in my presentation now. And I can either put this at the end. So if I wanted to just put this at the end and add it on because that's where it needed to go, I can do that. That would be fine. Or I can, as with anything else in Camtasia, I can add it into the middle of video. So if I needed it somewhere in the middle here, I could once again choose the spot that I want to put it. I can choose the tracks that I need to split. I can split them. I can move these tracks to clear a little bit of room. And then once I've done that, I can put my slide in this empty space. I can fill it out as much as I need. And then if I want to, I can come over here once again to this menu where I have a voice narration option. And if I select that, it will let me record my voice. And so it will add my voice recording on as another track here. And it will be synced with that slide. And if it's not synced, then I can just move the tracks around, just like I've been moving all of these pieces, so that they line up the way that I need them to. So this is a relatively simple way to add something into the middle of your presentation. And this works very similarly to how you might add some other pieces into a Camtasia video after the fact. Working with Camtasia, I also have the option to include or overlay an image on the video that I'm working on. So if I have an image ready to go, I can get it from my computer and I can once again put it into the media bin, which allows me to use it in my Camtasia. So I've gone to my desktop and I can just drag and drop my image in here, and you can see that it's shown up in my media bin and is ready for me to use. Now, I could insert this the same kind of way that I did a slide where I split my video and I put it in. But if I want to, I can also just overlay this on a video that I've already made. So if I have something ready to go, I can queue up my video to the place where I want to put my slide. So let's say I wanted to put this somewhere close to the end. I can figure out where I want this to go. And then I can take my image and I can just drag it here and I can put it onto my slide. Now I can leave the image a small size like this. You can see that it's overlaid what's already there. So that would be fine. I could also move this around and size it a little differently if I wanted to, just so that it fit nicely. Or if I wanted to see more of the image, I could blow it up to take up the whole screen. So I do have a fair amount of flexibility around that. And I can also adjust how long that video is displayed for. So if I come down to the bottom here, you can see that I have my usual tracks here for Camtasia. I have my video track and I have my audio track. And this is actually added in a third track. So on this track, I have anything that I've overlaid on top of the video that I've already made. And from there, if I do want this to display longer than what the default is, I can click on it, I can grab the side edge there, and I can just extend it out for however long I want. This is a very similar approach to some of the built-in features that Camtasia has, like annotations. So if you did want to, say, emphasize something on the slides or the screen that you were working on, you could come over here to the annotations section. And what you'll see there are some options that you can use for highlighting things on your screen. So if there was something that I really wanted to highlight as, let's say, important for my students, I could choose one of these annotations, drag it onto my screen, place it where I want it, and then I can edit the text to say something like important. And just as before, you can see once again that we have the usual audio and video tracks, and then on top of that, we have this third track now for the annotations and the images. And if I do want that to be longer, I can click on that and then grab there we go, and make that a little bit longer if I need it to be. One other thing I can do with Camtasia is to create a voice narration. So there are a few different things that I could do with this. I could add a narration onto some video that I've already made. I could use that as a basis for adding some images or some slides or something like that over top. I could, if I wanted to, generate an entire narration and then create a video by laying other video components on top of that. So if I wanted to add in, again, those slides or those images on the video track, I could use the narration as the basis for that if I wanted to sort of do my video in reverse. Now, fortunately, creating a voice narration is very straightforward. I have a tool once again in this menu on the left-hand side of Camtasia called Voice Narration. And if I click on that, it's going to give me the option to start my voice recording. So once I start my voice recording, you can see that the timer is ticking away here. I can just keep narrating until I'm done. And you can see that I also have the option to cancel or to stop. In this case, once I'm done my video, or done my audio, sorry, I can click on stop. And it's going to ask me if I want to save that file. So I can save it as whatever default title it comes up with, which is usually narration with a number after it. Or I could rename that to something like class intro 1, just so that I know what it is. And when I click on save, that audio clip is going to go automatically into my timeline here. So we can see that I've got this video clip or this audio clip all ready to go. And when it's ready to go, I can move it to a different place if I want to. I can leave it there, or I can overlay anything that I want to on top of that on the video track.